The Senate will come to order. I ask everyone present to please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Archbishop Mortitus Yeldko of the Malankara Archdiocese of the Syrian Orthodox Church in North America will deliver today's invocation.
Honorable President, honorable senators, leaders of the various communities, sisters and brothers. It is indeed a pleasure and honor for me to stand before you on this beautiful day in the New York State Senate as we observe the month of May as Asian American Pacific Islanders Heritage Month. And also you recognize and honor the Malayali community at large. Even though Malayali community having roots in the Indian state Kerala is a small community here, with their participation in the society has become a vibrant community in the state of New York. They have established their presence in every walks of life by participating positively in the social and democratic cultures of the country. As Bishop of the Syriac Orthodox Church, I am proud to be a member of the Malayali community, and on behalf of the Malayali community, let me express our deepest appreciation to the Honorable Senate of the State of New York for this wonderful day. I take also this opportunity to thank Honorable Senator Kevin Thomas for organizing this historic event and bringing us all here. Let me begin the prayer in the Malayalam language, the vernacular language of our state, Kerala. ഞങ്ങളുടെ കർത്താവേ, നിന്നെ ഞങ്ങൾ സ്തുതിക്കുകയും വന്ദിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നു. സകല അധികാരവും ദൈവത്തിൽ നിന്നാകുന്നു എന്നും ആയതിനാൽ ഭരണാധിപന്മാർക്ക് വേണ്ടിയും അധികാര സ്ഥാനത്തിരിക്കുന്നവർക്ക് വേണ്ടിയും പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുകയും സ്തോത്രം ചെയ്യുകയും വേണമെന്ന് തിരുവചനം ഞങ്ങളെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നു. ആകയാൽ ഈ രാജ്യത്തിന് വേണ്ടിയും പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ന്യൂയോർക്ക് സ്റ്റേറ്റിന് വേണ്ടിയും അതിൻ്റെ പുരോഗതിക്കായി വിവിധ സ്ഥാനങ്ങളിൽ പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവർക്കും വേണ്ടിയും അതിലെ ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടിയും ഞങ്ങൾ പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു. നേതൃസ്ഥാനങ്ങളിൽ ഇരിക്കുന്നവർക്ക് ജനങ്ങളോടുള്ള സ്നേഹവും ത്യാഗബുദ്ധിയും സത്യസന്ധതയും നൽകണമേ. വിവിധ രാജ്യങ്ങളിൽ നിന്നുള്ളവരും വിവിധ വിശ്വാസങ്ങൾ പാലിക്കുന്നവരും സാഹോദര്യ മനോഭാവത്തോടെ പരസ്പരം സ്നേഹിക്കുകയും സഹകരിക്കുകയും ഐക്യത്തോടെ ജീവിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുമാറാകണമേ. ഞങ്ങളുടെ സമൂഹത്തിൽ നിന്ന് തിന്മകൾക്കെതിരെ പോരാടുവാൻ ഞങ്ങളെ ശക്തിപ്പെടുത്തണമേ. ഐശ്വര്യത്തോടും സമാധാനത്തോടും പുരോഗതിയിലേക്ക് ഞങ്ങളെ നയിക്കണമേ. We give you thanks and worship you, our Lord. The Holy Scripture teaches us that all authority is given from God and urges us to make prayers and intercessions for the rulers and for all those in authority. Therefore, we pray for this country, especially the state of New York, for all who work for the progress of this state and for everyone dwell in this state. May the leaders have true love for the people, willingness to serve them selflessly and with honesty. May the people from various ethnicities and following different faith keep brotherly love among them, cooperate one another, and live in unity. Enable us to fight against all social evils in our community. Guide us, O Lord, in the way of progress. We submit this prayer to the Heavenly Father, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses, as we forgive trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you so much.
In honor of the passing of Bill Perkins, a cherished and respected member of this body from the years 2007 to 2017. The Senate will now observe a moment of silence. Please stand. Rest in power, Brother Perkins. Reading of the journal.
In Senate, Monday, May 15, 2023, the Senate met pursuant to adjournment. Journal of Friday, May 12, 2023 was read and approved. On motion, the Senate adjourned.
Without objection, the journal stands approved as read. Presentation of petitions. Messages from the Assembly. Secretary Reed.
Senator Jackson moves to discharge from the Committee on Energy and Telecommunications, Assembly Bill number 1190, and substituted for the identical Senate Bill 334, third reading count of 125. Senator Stavisky moves to discharge from the Committee on Higher Education, Assembly Bill number 3694A, substituted for the identical Senate Bill 2060A, third reading count of 241. Senator Holman Siegel moves to discharge from the Committee on Judiciary, Assembly Bill number 4899, substituted for the identical Senate Bill 4397, third reading count of 791.
So ordered. Messages from the Governor. Reports of standing committees. Reports of select committees. Communications and reports from state offices. Motions and resolutions. Senator Gianaris.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I move to adopt the resolution calendar with the exception of Resolution 1040.
All those in favor of adopting the resolution calendar with the exception of Resolution 1040 signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The resolution calendar is adopted. Senator Gianaris.
Can we begin by taking up previously adopted Resolution 635 by Senator Thomas? Read its title and recognize Senator Thomas on the resolution.
Secretary Reed.
Senate Resolution 635 by Senator Thomas, memorializing Governor Kathy Hochul to proclaim May 2003 as Malayali Heritage Month in the state of New York.
Senator Thomas on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. Thank you to His Eminence Archbishop of the Malankara Syrian Orthodox Church for the opening prayer. It is with great joy and pride that I get to introduce a resolution like this, declaring the month of May as Malayali Heritage Month, because I'm a Malayali myself. This month is not only a time for the Malayali community to come together and commemorate our rich heritage, but also an opportunity for us to reflect on the countless contributions that Malayalis have made to the fabric of this great nation. For example, we all just heard from His Eminence right now. It should come as no surprise that Christianity has had a long history in India. According to tradition, Christianity in India was established by the Apostle Thomas when he arrived in the state of Kerala back in AD 52. This is a beautiful state in southern India bordering the Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean, and it's known for its scenic landscapes, lush greenery, and warm-hearted people. As Malayalis, we value education, hard work, and community service. Our families and communities are the cornerstone of our identity, and we proudly celebrate our culture through festivals, food, language, and traditional dresses that the women today are wearing. We carry a rich tapestry of customs, traditions, language, art, and cuisine with us that has flourished for over 1,000 years. Malayalis are renowned for their contributions to fields such as medicine, engineering, and technology, and are responsible for groundbreaking discoveries that have pushed the boundaries of human advancement. This dedication to education and innovation serves as an inspiration to us all. Malayali Heritage Month is not only an occasion to celebrate the past and present achievements of this community, but is also an opportunity to look to the future. As a society, we must continue to foster an inclusive environment that cherishes diversity and encourages everyone, regardless of their background, to pursue their dreams. I know that my fellow Malayalis are just as committed as I am to working tirelessly to ensure that our voices are heard, our needs are met, and that our community continues to prosper. And that's why I'm so proud to welcome some of my fellow Malayalis into the Senate chamber today, including Dr. Anna George, the president of the Indian Nurses Association, who's with us today. Thomas David, chairman of Kalavedi, which is a newspaper and a program that is circulated around our community. Ajit Abraham, who's from FOMA, And we also have the Honorable Raja Rajeshwari, who is a Richmond County Criminal Court Judge, Officer Tom Joy from the Suffolk County Police, Leela Merritt, who's from the Indian Overseas Congress as well. So together, we can and will champion causes that matter to us, advocate for equality, celebrate our diversity, and create a better future for the generations to come. Through music, dance, art, and cuisine, we can introduce others to the beauty and diversity of our traditions. Malayalis have always worked really hard, and they give back to society. And having Malayali Heritage Month in May here in New York is a success story for this group. May we continue to celebrate our Malayali heritage with pride and joy this month and beyond. And Mr. President, please recognize my guests in the gallery. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Thomas. To our guests, we welcome you on behalf of the State Senate. We extend to you all of the privileges and courtesies of this House. Please rise and be recognized. The resolution was previously adopted on April 10th. Senator Gianaris.
Can we now move to Resolution 1040 by Leader Stuart Cousins? Read that resolution's title and recognize Senator Webb to speak on the resolution.
Secretary will read.
Senate Resolution 1040 by Senator Stuart Cousins, congratulating the 2023 New York State Senate Women of Distinction. Women of Distinction.
Senator Webb on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today with pride and enthusiasm to speak in support of this resolution, congratulating the 2023 New York State Senate Women of Distinction. In this moment, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize our own woman of distinction, and that is our Senate Majority Leader, Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins, who is a woman of distinction in her own right as being the first woman and first woman of color to be our Senate Majority Leader. This, yes. So this recognition was established in 1998 as a program which is a testament to our commitment as a state to honor exemplary women from across our great state. The 2023 Women of Distinction have demonstrated outstanding professional or personal achievements, an unwavering commitment to excellence, and a track record of accomplishments that merit this special recognition. Today, as we recognize the women of distinction, we celebrate the diversity of our state and the contributions made by women from every economic, ethnic, and religious background. These women have shattered glass ceilings, sometimes often brick ceilings, fighting against stereotypes, prejudice, and seemingly insurmountable obstacles, paving the way for future generations of trailblazers. We applaud their character, their initiative, and commitment to their communities. From the pioneers of the women's suffrage movement to the present day, women have played a crucial role and still play a crucial role in shaping the history of our great state. The 2023 Women of Distinction are keeping that tradition as vibrant leaders who are integral to our rich heritage. They have contributed to the advancement of our culture through both traditional and non-traditional roles in society. They have dedicated themselves to enhancing the well-being of their communities, showcasing a long and sustained commitment to excellence. They have earned the recognition and applause of all the residents of this great Empire State. To quote author Toni Morrison, there is no modernity, no justice, without the talent, the passion, and the steely intelligence of women. Let us, as the New York State Senate, proudly stand together to congratulate the 2023 New York State Senate Women of Distinction. We thank you for your service to our state and to our country. I proudly vote aye, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Webb, to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Helming on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm truly honored to speak before this body on such a special and important occasion. On this, I think we can all agree. New York is a state with a history of formidable and courageous women. We're the proud home of Seneca Falls, the birthplace of the women's rights movement. Across every single district of this great empire state, women are doing extraordinary things for their communities, their workplaces, and families. They are the innovators in business, pioneers in nonprofits, role models in our classrooms, caretakers in hospitals and nursing homes, protectors in law enforcement, producers on our farms, change makers in our governments, and guiding lights in our families. Women of all ages, backgrounds, and talents continue playing an integral role in shaping the future of our communities and our state, and inspiring the next generation of female leaders. All of us, I'm sure, have been influenced by the character and contributions of a woman. Today, we honor a group of women that have carried on this tradition of proud excellence. All are leaders, role models, and innovators in their local communities. These women embody the spirit of New York State, achieving the highest standards of excellence and always striving for new heights, which we all aspire to. To those who have joined us here today, I sincerely thank you on behalf of this conference. Your contributions to our state are truly remarkable, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Know that you are an inspiration to girls and women across this state. And from one woman to many other women, I ask, may we continue to acknowledge, applaud, and support and value one another always. Congrats to all of our women of distinction. Mr. President, I proudly vote yes on this resolution.
Senator Helming to be recorded in the affirmative. The question is on the resolution. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The resolution is unanimously adopted. Senator Gineris. Oh, excuse me. To our guests, our women of distinction. Can't skip that on the day we're honoring you. I welcome you on behalf of the Senate. We extend to you all of the privileges and courtesies of this House. Please rise and be recognized. Senator Gineris.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can we now move to previously adopted Resolution 381 by Senator Sepulveda? Read its title and recognize Senator Sepulveda.
Secretary will read.
Senate Resolution 381 by Senator Sepulveda, memorializing Governor Kathy Hochul to proclaim March 11, 2023 to April 12, 2023 as Garifuna American Heritage Month in the state of New York.
Senator Sepulveda on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President, for allowing me to present this resolution for a group of people in our state who are doing great things. I want to say Bwiti Amide to all of them. Today I rise to pay tribute to the vibrant cultural heritage that enriches and diversifies the state of New York. It's essential that we acknowledge and celebrate the contribution of various ethnic groups that make up the state of New York. Now, as a legislative body, it is our duty to applaud and commemorate events that foster ethnic pride and exemplify the cultural diversity that strengthens our great state. This resolution today allows us to celebrate the history, culture, achievements, and contributions of the Garifuna people, not only to the societies of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, but also here in the United States. Garifuna American Heritage Month serves as a platform to raise the awareness and promote a greater appreciation for Garifuna history and traditions. It is a time to affirm the history, culture, identity, and self-esteem of an extremely resilient people. Through this celebration, we honor the rich heritage and shed light on the history and traditions of the Garifuna people exemplifying the indomitable spirit of their community. Let us take a moment to reflect on the remarkable journey of the Garifuna people. In 1665, 2 Spanish ships met an unfortunate fate off the coast of St. Vincent. The West African enslaved people who escaped to the island intermarried with the Caribs and the Arawaks, giving birth to a new race known as the Garifuna. They grew strong and prosperous on the island. In 1795, the Garifuna embarked on the Second Carib War against the British, enduring heavy losses on both sides, but never giving up. The final battle on June 10, 1796, resulted in the Garifuna surrender. The surviving black Caribs faced forced deportations to neighboring islands of Belizeau. Eventually, on March 11, 1797, the Garifunas were transported to Roatan, Honduras, making a permanent separation for their families. This year, we commemorate the 226th anniversary of the forcible deportation of the Garifuna people by the British from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as their settlement in Central America. The Garifunas continued their journey, leading them to the United States during the 1930s. Today, New York City is the host to the largest Garifuna community outside of Central America. Garifuna Heritage Month provides us with a unique opportunity to celebrate the reunion of Garifuna families and recognize their profound contributions to the quality and character of New York State. Through various events and activities throughout the month, we can all gain a greater appreciation of Garifuna history and traditions. We must acknowledge and honor the significant role the Garifuna Americans have played and will continue to play shaping New York society, and especially the Bronx. Thank you, and I vote aye on the resolution.
Senator Bailey on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Senator Sepulveda, for introducing the resolution. And I saw the Garifuna community in the hallway earlier today, and I told Rose that I was presiding and I wouldn't be able to speak on the resolution properly, right? Rose is up there and she gave me a look, so I had to come down here and make sure I spoke on the resolution. But and it's not just Rose, it's Jose Francisco, it's the whole Garifuna community in the Bronx that is incredibly dynamic, and it makes you really appreciate the cultural richness of this state. And when folks from different areas and different parts of the state get to come here, I think it truly is an incredible fashion, Madam President. But the Garifuna community is a really proud and incredible and indelible force in our borough. They're not just in one part of the Bronx, they're throughout the entire borough. They have made their ways and made their mark in a variety of fields. And I'm just proud to represent so many members of the Garifuna community and proud to call them friends. And they certainly contribute to the patchwork quilt that we call the Bronx in the greater state of New York. So, Madam President, I proudly vote aye on this resolution, and I salute the Garifuna community, and thank you for coming up.
Senator Fernandez on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you to the sponsor for this resolution. I, too, represent a beautiful plethora amount of the Garifuna community in my 34th Senate District, and I've seen firsthand not only the beauty of their history and heritage, but the outreach and compassion that they give to every part of their community, whether you're Garifuna or not. And it's certainly an example as to how we, as community members, leaders of our heritage, can join forces and continue to highlight ourselves, but also help and empower others. And that's something that the Garifuna community has done in an amazing way. And I'm so grateful that they are here in Albany today so we can properly give them the recognition that they do deserve as part of our blanket that's been said that makes New York State. So welcome to the Capitol, and thank you for being here. I vote aye.
Senator Claire on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. I am Senator Cordell Clear. I represent the beautiful village of Harlem. And I am honored here today that my colleagues brought forth this resolution. I proudly vote aye on it. The Garifuna community in Harlem has been long and strong. And I am proud to represent all of you and all the contributions you have made to what I call the Mecca of the African diaspora, my village of Harlem. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Clear. The resolution was previously adopted on February 7th. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I keep messing up. To our guests, I welcome you on behalf of the Senate. We extend to you all the privileges and courtesies of this House. Please rise and be recognized. Senator Gianaris.
Before we move on to the next resolution, let's pause for a moment and recognize that we have a former colleague in the chamber with us, and welcome back former Senator Betty Little.
Senator Gianaris.
Now, Mr. President, can we move on to previously adopted Resolution 290 by Senator Steck? Read its title and recognize Senator Steck.
Secretary Reed.
Senate Resolution 290 by Senator Steck, mourning the death of James T. Neshaw, admired educator, proud veteran, and devoted member of his community.
Senator Steck on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to my colleagues for allowing me this interruption to bring forward this very important resolution. And it's no coincidence that we just greeted, I'm sure, everyone's preferred favorite senator from the North Country, mine too, Senator Betty Little, my predecessor, because she has a close tie to this resolution. And also, I'm proud to announce that she is my Woman of Distinction nominee this year, so I'm thrilled, and I know with the Senate chambers as well for that. This, we're commemorating and remembering the life of James T. Neshaw, who is an admired educator, a proud veteran, and a devoted member of the community. The connection that I have with Jim Neshaw, I knew him as a kid coming through school. He was my high school principal. And as fate had it, he was also my mother's boss. My mom was a secretary in the high school for many years. But Jim Neshaw was an educator. He was educated in the North Country. He taught in a few different schools, but most notably Queensbury, where he became the high school principal. And he was high school principal while I was there. And then he went on and later became school superintendent in Ticonderoga. But in addition to that achievement, he was a Navy veteran. He was a Navy pilot. He made 200 carrier landings on USS Coral Sea back in the early 60s before returning to the teaching profession, where he taught again in the Queensbury School District for many, many years. He was a member of the Bolton Planning Board, Zoning Board, so many things that he dedicated his life to. The Lake George Park Commission, he was a Lake George Park Commission member. So Jim Neshaw meant a lot to certainly all of us in Warren County, but also importantly, and this is where the connection with our colleague Senator Little comes, is that Jim Neshaw and Betty were partners, life partners for over 20 years, and he passed away right before Christmas last year. Again, a loss to the community, certainly a loss to Senator Little, but a wonderful person, certainly worthy of our recognition and pausing here. So again, I thank my colleagues for allowing me this privilege, this great honor to remember Jim Neshaw, his life, and his connection to our former colleague. And with that, Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Steck. To our guests, I welcome you on behalf of the Senate. We extend to you all of the privileges and courtesies of this House. Please rise and be recognized. The resolution was previously adopted on January 24th. Senator Gianaris.
Senator Comrie for an introduction.
Senator Comrie for the purposes of an introduction.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to take a minute and acknowledge former Senator Betty Little also. It's good to see her back in the House. And I just want to thank her for being gracious to me when I first arrived. And so I hope that we can talk a little bit later. But I rise today to greet and welcome the student council members from School District 29 that are now in the gallery. School leaders led by Superintendent Dr. Crystal Bonds, who is here, volunteers and parents visiting us today from the best borough, Queens. Huh? What? School District 29's mission is to promote the achievement of educational standards, empower, educate, and engage parents, our scholars, and our school community. Our children deserve the best quality education, and District 29 is committed to advocating on behalf of the families. The young people had opportunity today to visit with our state senators, my colleagues, Toby Ann Stavisky, John Liu, James Sanders, and also in the Assembly, Alicia Hyman, Clive Vanell, and Khalil Anderson. They are here today to learn how to advocate, how to make sure that they can find out what happens in government and how government impacts them. I want to thank them for coming and understanding that they do have to catch a bus. I'm not going to do the entire speech, but I want to thank the leader and the staff for allowing us to say a few words and to welcome them to the gallery. I know that all of you are going to be leaders in the future. I know that I'm going to hear from all of you and you continue to enjoy success. I want you to remember this day and remember that this is not the last time that you're going to impact government, because I know I'm going to hear great things from all of my student leaders in District 29. Welcome to the chambers. Thank you.
To our guests, on behalf of Southeast Queens and Queens in general, I welcome you on behalf of the Senate. We extend to you the privileges and courtesies of this House. Please rise and be recognized. Senator Gineris.
Mr. President, I want to note for the kids from School District 29 that our practices on the floor only allow one member to speak on introductions, and that was Senator Comrie, but Senator Sanders and Senator Stavisky also wanted to be sure to let you know how much they appreciate your attendance here. Mr. President, at the request of the sponsors of the various resolutions we took up today, they are all open for co-sponsorship.
These resolutions are open for co-sponsorship. Should you choose not to be a co-sponsor, please notify the desk. Senator Gineris.
I now have a couple of motions. Mr. President, amendments offered to the following third reading calendar bills by Senator Mayer, calendar 367, and by Senator Krueger, calendar 429.
The amendments are received and those bills will retain their place in the third reading calendar. Senator Gineris.
And I also wish to call up the following bills which were recalled from the Assembly and are now at the desk. Senate bills numbers 2683 and 5890.
Secretary Reed.
Calendar number 347, Senate Print 2683 by Senator Breslin, an act to amend the insurance law. Calendar number 631, Senate Print 5890 by Senator Breslin, an act to amend the insurance law.
Move to reconsider the vote by which these bills were passed.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White, I-62.
The bills restored to its place in the third reading calendar.
Following amendments.
The amendments are received and the bill will retain its place in the third reading calendar.
Please recognize Senator Lanza.
Senator Lanza.
Mr. President, on behalf of Senator Rollison, I call up Bill number 4899, recalled from the Assembly, which is now at the desk.
Secretary Reed.
Calendar number 443, Senate Print 4899 by Senator Rollison, an act to amend the highway law.
And I now move to reconsider the vote by which the bill was passed.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White, I-62.
The bill is restored. The bill is restored to its place in the third reading calendar.
I now offer the following amendments.
The amendments are received and the bill will retain its place in the third reading calendar.
Mr. President, on behalf of Senator Mayer, on page 36, I offer the following amendments to calendar 663, Senate 5823B, and ask that said bill retain its place on third reading calendar.
The amendments are received and the bill will retain its place in the third reading calendar. Senator Gineris.
Please take up the calendar.
Secretary Reed.
Calendar number 77, Senate Print 608C by Senator Salazar, an act to amend the general business law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 125, Assembly number 1190 by Assemblymember Rivera, an act to amend the public service law.
Read the last section.
Section 3, this act shall take effect on the 180th day it shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 125, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Canzoneri Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Griffo, Matera, Murray, Oberacker, O'Mara, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Steck, Tedisco, Walzett, Weber, and White. Ayes 46, nays 16.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 218, Senate Print 1571 by Senator Gianaris, an act to amend the judiciary law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Dabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 225, Senate Print 333 by Senator Jackson, an act to amend the multiple dwelling law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Dabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 225, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Ashby, Borrello, Canzoneri Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Griffo, Hellman, Lanza, Martins, Matera, Murray, Oberacker, O'Mara, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Rollison, Steck, Tedisco, Walzett, Weber, and White. Ayes 41, nays 21.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 240, Senate Print 1396 by Senator Liu, an act to amend the education law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 90th day and shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 241, Assembly number 3694A by Assemblymember Rosenthal, an act to amend the education law.
Lay it aside.
Calendar number 269, Senate Print 1930 by Senator Griffo, an act to amend the vehicle and traffic law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 414, Senate Print 4398 by Senator Hoylman Siegel, an act to amend the judiciary law.
Read the last section.
Section 5, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 485, Senate Print 4187 by Senator Lanza, an act to amend the highway law and the administrative code of the city of New York.
Read the last section.
Section 8, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Senator Scarcella-Spanton to explain her vote.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to my colleague and friend, Senator Lanza, for introducing this bill to change the official name of the Staten Island Expressway to the POW MIA Memorial Highway. This bill holds deep significance for our Staten Island community and pays tribute to the brave men and women who have made an immense sacrifice for our nation. POWs and MIAs made tremendous sacrifices, often enduring years of captivity or leaving their families without closure, all in defense of our freedoms. Our nation owes an immeasurable debt to the heroes who have endured unimaginable hardships in service of our country. For many military families, having your loved ones become a prisoner of war or officially declared missing in action is a heart-wrenching experience that brings unimaginable uncertainty and emotional turmoil. By renaming the Staten Island Expressway to the POW MIA Memorial Highway, we not only pay homage to the extraordinary sacrifice of our servicemen and women, but we also acknowledge the impact on their families who bear the weight of uncertainty for years. Designating the Staten Island Expressway as the POW MIA Memorial Highway will create a lasting tribute that not only serves as a reminder of their sacrifices, but also educates future generations about the legacy that they have given to the United States. Thank you again to Senator Lanza, who has always been a wonderful friend to our veterans, for introducing this, and I proudly vote aye.
Senator Scarcella-Spanton to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 485, voted in the negative. Senator Brisport. Ayes 61, nays 1.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 539, Senate Print 775A by Senator Cooney, an act to amend the vehicle and traffic law and the penal law.
Read the last section.
Section 9, this act take effect on the 1st of November.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 614, Senate Print 6211B by Senator Martinez, an act to amend the environmental conservation law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to Calendar 614, voted in the negative are Senators Oberacker and Walzek, ayes 60, nays 2. Also, Senator Ort, ayes 50, pardon me. So, in relation to Calendar 614, voted in the negative are Senators Oberacker, O'Mara, Ort, and Walzek, ayes 58, nays 4.
The bill is passed. Thank you.
Calendar number 654, Senate Print 5572 by Senator Granardes, an act to amend the labor law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act shall take effect on the 180th day. It shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 748, Senate Print 6383 by Senator Parker, an act to amend the administrative code of the City of New York.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 758, Senate Print 1811 by Senator Adabo, an act to amend the general business law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 60th day of it shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 762, Senate Print 3310 by Senator Skoufis, an act to amend the public officers law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to Calendar 762, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Canzoneri Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Griffo, Helming, Lanza, Martins, Patera, Murray, Oberacker, O'Mara, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Rollison, Steck, Tedisco, Walzek, Weber, and White. Ayes 42, nays 20.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 763, Senate Print 4152 by Senator Giannaris, an act to amend the legislative law.
Read the last section.
Section 7, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to Calendar 763, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Canzoneri Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Helming, Martins, Patera, Murray, Oberacker, O'Mara, Ort, Rhodes, Steck, Tedisco, Walzek, Weber, and White. Ayes 46, nays 16.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 791, Assembly number 4899 by Assemblymember Dinowitz, an act to amend the criminal procedure law.
Read the last section.
Section 3, this act take effect on the 1st of January.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar number 791, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Canzoneri Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Griffo, Helming, Oberacker, O'Mara, Ort, Rhodes, Steck, Tedisco, Walzek, Weber, and White. Ayes 48, nays 14.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 795, Senate Print 6417 by Senator Bailey, an act to amend the judiciary law and the executive law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 795, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Canzoneri Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Griffo, Hellman, Lanza, Martins, Matera, Murray, Oberacker, O'Mara, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Rollison, Steck, Tedisco, Walzek, Weber, and White. Ayes 42, nays 20.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 798, Senate Print 6665 by Senator Gianaris, an act to amend the judiciary law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this action will take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 798, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Ashby, Borrello, Canzoneri Fitzpatrick, Gallivan, Griffo, Hellman, Lanza, Martins, Matera, Murray, Oberacker, O'Mara, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Rollison, Steck, Tedisco, Walzek, Weber, and White. Ayes 41, nays 21.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 819, Senate Print 5620A by Senator Harkam, an act to amend the executive law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this action will take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 825, Senate Print 160 by Senator Hoylman Siegel, an act to amend the judiciary law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act will take effect on the 90th day, it shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results. Oh, excuse me.
In relation to calendar 825, voted in the negative, Senator Martinez. Oh, excuse me. In relation to calendar 825, voted in the negative are Senators Chu, Martinez, Scarcella Spanton, and Thomas. Ayes 58, nays 4.
The bill is passed. Senator Gianaris, that completes the reading of today's calendar.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can we now move to the controversial calendar?
Secretary will ring the bell. Secretary Reed.
Calendar number 241, Assembly number 3694A by Assembly Member Rosenthal, an act to amend the education law.
Senator Lanza, why do you rise?
Mr. President, I believe there's an amendment at the desk. I waive the reading of that amendment and ask that you recognize Senator Rhodes.
Thank you, Senator Lanza. Upon review of the amendment in accordance with Rule 6, Section 4B, I rule it non-germane, out of order at this time.
Accordingly, Mr. President, I appeal the ruling of the chair and ask that Senator Rhodes be heard on the appeal.
The appeal has been made and recognized, and Senator Rhodes may be heard. Senator Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I rise to appeal the ruling of the chair. The proposed amendment is germane to the bill at hand, as the bill at hand aims at reducing the number of hate crimes, as does the proposed amendment, which would add all hate crimes to the list of qualifying offenses, which would allow judges to set bail for any offense that is charged as a hate crime. Since cashless bail went into effect in 2020, Mr. President, New Yorkers have been suffering the consequences. Crime continues to rise, and our citizens continue to bear the risk. And this trend has impacted New Yorkers across the state, and it's had a particularly troubling impact on members of marginalized communities who have been experiencing higher rates of hate crimes. Since last year, the number of hate crime incidents has risen nearly 20%. Since 2019, the last year before bail reform went into effect, hate crimes have gone up by 47%. And the rise in hate crimes has threatened the fundamental feature of the American way of life. And while this threat continues to grow, our laws limit the ability of a judge to set bail on those who targets a person based on their race, their ethnicity, their religion, their gender, or their sexuality. Because of bail reform, judges must release a person who is charged with a hate crime unless they commit an offense that is a qualifying offense, or they commit a misdemeanor assault or arson in the third degree as a hate crime. A person who threatens a person based on a protected characteristic or vandalizes a synagogue or a mosque wouldn't be eligible for bail. And even those who are eligible for bail that would qualify, judges can only set bail based upon risk of flight. They cannot set bail based upon the danger that the defendant poses to a person, a group of people, or the community as a whole. Bail reform has severely limited the ability of courts to protect our vulnerable citizens from the violent and hateful attacks that continue to plague the state. And while criminals who target innocent New Yorkers based on their race, gender, or other protected characteristics, criminals continue to enjoy the benefits of these misguided criminal justice reforms, Mr. President. It is time that we put the interests of law-abiding citizens above criminals, restore common sense to our criminal justice system, and give judges back the ability to set bail for any hate crime. Look, you had recently a Long Island man who used social media to go on a hate crime spree against the LGBTQ community, against Jews. In the Bronx, you had the windows of 4 synagogues that were smashed in. You had an individual who was waving a knife at Central Park, who was charged with menacing as a hate crime while he was making comments against women. You had a homeless man who sucker punched an Asian American woman who had 17 prior arrests. And on those 17 prior arrests was held without bail. If the courts can't protect us, who are we going to turn to? Even Bill de Blasio, when I ran for the Senate, I never thought in a million years that I would actually be quoting Bill de Blasio. Even Bill de Blasio stated that when it comes to hate crimes, judges need more space to use discretion when they think there is a legitimate public threat. I think one of the ways we fight hate crimes is by making it clear that there will be consequences, and I'm concerned that if someone consistently committed a hate crime is out on the street, they may get the opportunity to do it again. This bill is germane, and I ask you, Mr. President, to reverse your decision and allow the amendment to move forward, because while it's important that we report, while it's important that we educate, while it's important that we inform, information without action has no meaning. And the action that we need to have is to restore consequences and restore judicial discretion to be able to set bail to someone who commits a hate crime and is a threat to the community and a threat to do it again. Thank you, Mr. President, and I ask that you reconsider your decision.
Thank you, Senator Rhodes. I want to remind the House that this vote is on the procedures of the House and the ruling of the chair. Those in favor of overruling the chair signify by saying aye.
Show of hands.
A show of hands has been requested and so ordered. Announce the results. I'm sorry.
Ayes 21.
The ruling of the chair stands and the bill in chief is before the House.
Mr. President, we've agreed to restore this bill to the non-controversial
The
calendar.
bill has been restored to the non-controversial calendar. Secretary will read. Read the last section.
Section 5, this act take effect on the 90th day and shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Senator Stavisky to explain her vote.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This bill is about reporting hate crimes on a college website. That's it. What I heard a moment ago was almost a non sequitur. This has nothing to do with what was described. Instead, the colleges, any college or university in New York State that receives state aid has to report the incident on its website. Currently, they do it in the college catalog. Now, college catalogs were popular when I applied to college. But with all due respect, today, even I use the websites. It only applies to the website, and I vote aye, Mr. President, on my bill. Thank you.
Senator Stavisky to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Chu to explain her vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to show my support for this important piece of legislation, and thank you, Senator Stavisky, for bringing this to our attention and for your advocacy for this issue. As we have seen in the past 3 years, hate crime towards our marginalized New Yorker has been on the rise throughout our state, including college campuses. We need to make sure we are protecting our students and providing a clear pathway to reporting and assessing statistics on hate crime that occur on our campus. Through this legislation, we can provide the necessary transparency for crime-related statistics in a manner that reflects the advancement in technology available to us today. And as a proud alumna of our CUNY Brooklyn College, ensuring the safety of our college campus for students is our top priority. I'm a proud co-sponsor of this bill, and for all this reason, I vote aye.
Senator Chu to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Rhodes to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Senator Stavisky for advancing this bill. I voted for this bill in committee. I'm voting for this bill on the floor today. It's a piece. It's an important piece, but it's just a piece. My point was that we're missing out on the larger component, which is that we need to establish, in addition to providing information, you have to establish that there are consequences to that action. And consequences and giving judges the ability to keep people off the street who are repeatedly committing these crimes is an important component to reducing the number of hate crimes that we see. So this is an important piece, and I'm voting for it, but I think we're missing a larger piece. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Rhodes to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Webb to explain her vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Senator Stavisky for this piece of legislation. You know, I would be remiss if I didn't lift up that with this legislation, it helps us to have more data-driven solutions to this very complex issue. And being someone who worked on a college campus and worked with students who unfortunately experienced hate crimes, part of the challenge is getting students, faculty, or staff to even report what they have experienced because of fear of retaliation or not having access to information about what could actually be done. And so this legislation is an important step to provide to our educational institutions to help to facilitate that. This bill updates the education law, ensuring that college campuses who are experiencing hate crime have the ability to report that data accurately so that they can have more informed policies and practices, but also the students and their families have more information that can facilitate their decisions as it relates to their own safety at these respective institutions. And so again, I want to thank Senator Stavisky for this bill. I will be voting aye. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Webb to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the results.
Ayes 62.
The bill is passed. Senator Gianaris, that completes the reading of today's calendar.
Mr. President, if I could return to motions for a moment on behalf of Senator Hinchey on page 40, I offer the following amendments to calendar 741, Senate 1042, and ask that said bill retain its place on third reading calendar.
The amendments are received, and the bill retain its place on the third reading calendar. Senator Gianaris.
Is there any further business at the desk?
There is no further business at the desk.
Move to adjourn until Wednesday, tomorrow, May 17th at 3 p.m.
On motion, the Senate stands adjourned until Wednesday, May 17th at 3 p.m.